Good evening, everyone. My name is Zahn Eastus, and I'm here to call to order the meeting, the regular meeting of the Guilford Select Board on Monday, September the 25th. Welcome to everyone who's here in the room. I hope you've all signed in on the piece of paper back there by the door. And those online, everyone's properly signed in with your screen, so that's great. All right, tonight I'm not sure that Rusty will be here, so I will read the protocols that he normally reads. The Select Board recently adopted a new set of rules and procedures. They are no longer the Select Board rules of procedure. They are for all Guilford public body meetings and now have been shared with all committees and commissions. They are here in the chat online and published on the town website. These rules request that everyone present at the meeting conduct themselves in a civil manner. Tonight, individuals will have a reasonable time to comment on actions the Select Board is considering. Comments and questions will inform the Select Board's decision-making process. Individual comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Comments will be heard, not responded to. There will be no exchange between the Select Board and a commenter. Any questions raised will be recorded and responded to in a timely fashion. Additionally, here in the room and on the chat line, online, there is some basic information which includes how to contact Select Board members, how to secure a spot during the community comment portion of the meeting, and how to get onto the agenda, and how to communicate with the board via mail or email. So thank you all. Nice to see you. We'll move ahead then to the welcoming of the public, and we'll have Veranda takes care of this part of the meeting for us. So, Veranda.
Okay, well, I wanted to welcome Linda Lemke from the Conservation Commission. Linda, would you come over here?
You ready for me?
Yeah.
The Conservation Commission would like to report on a couple of things. First, we attended a meeting of regional conservation groups last week. This is a group that formed several years ago of all the conservation commissions in Windham County and also other conservation groups. We had to stop meeting during COVID, so this was the first meeting since then, but it turned out to be a good one. Corey Ross from I always forget the acronym, from our county conservation district presented the services that they present or that they offer to landowners, to farmers, and to others in our town and all through the county. So we came home with a lot of information about grant money that's available for invasives control, but other things we might think about for tree planting and other programs. So anybody interested, talk to members of the Conservation Commission. The other thing is the natural resource inventory that we have been working on for the last 5 years is almost ready to upload to the website. And I'm meeting with Erica on Thursday, and we hope to get it. Leslie Malewin is putting the finishing touches on the formatting, but we hope to get it uploaded. And then we'd like to have some programming over the next couple of months. Patty Smith, who did all the field work, would like to do a program at the BBCC. And then we'd like to do some field trips and encourage people to join us for some walks to some of the special places that she found in Guilford. So any questions?
I think we're not allowed to ask questions on community comments, but
well, I should. The one thing I could add about the regional meeting is that we're grateful that we've had a long-standing commission in Guilford. We heard from Halifax, Vernon, Marlborough. Their commissions are young, finding their way, figuring out how to work with other organizations in town. And we're grateful in Guilford that we have good working relationships with the other commissions and with the Select Board.
So I imagine this commission is seen somewhat as a leader then. In some
along with Dummerston. I have to say Dummerston always, it's an amazing program, but these meetings help to inspire. We inspire each other with programming that we've been doing and research and so on. So it's a good thing to be doing. And we will host the spring meeting at the BBCC. It'll be our turn next to host. So.
And I'm asking a question. Never mind. We're so proud of our conservation.
Thanks for asking us to do that.
The solidity is great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Okay, so I had a personal, actual community comment that I wanted to make. Today is Yom Kippur, a Jewish holiday that means a lot to me. It's about personal and spiritual connection with ourselves and with each other in a community, and how to be together better. I have chosen to be here instead of at services because the select board is about that as well. I wanted to be with you this evening, and I hope that we can do our work tonight in that spirit.
Thank you, Miranda.
All right, we'll move ahead to the next item on the agenda, which is changes to the agenda order, and I think there are none tonight, so we'll move right through to the approval of the minutes of the meeting of September the 11th. So can I have a motion to?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Michael.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Brenda. Is there any discussion here at the select board about those minutes? All right. Thank you. Since we're a hybrid version of meeting tonight with Tara online, great, you're there. We'll have to do everything by roll call tonight. So I'll ask Tara your approval.
Yes.
Okay, Michael?
Aye.
All right, Brenda.
Aye.
And Zan says aye. Okay, thank you. So those are approved, good. So now we'll move to the portion of our agenda where we get updates from folks here in town, as well as from some of our own employees. So we'll start with our town administrator, Erica. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I have to let some folks in while I talk. I am recovering from an upper respiratory issue, so I'll try to keep it brief. But last week we had a lovely event here in the town office. Someone called bright and early Monday morning and said that they had gotten married over the weekend, but they had neglected to get their marriage license. So that set Ellie into motion, and she made several phone calls until she finally reached Bob in the Department of Vital Records, who said, call your town attorney. So I called our town attorney, and she looked up all the statutes and advised that the best course of action would be for their officiant to come and marry them again in the town office right then. So that is what happened. And so all three of them showed up, and they brought flowers, just one little vase. And we realized that the officiant was only approved for Saturday, not Monday. And so another few calls to the Secretary of State's office got me Candy in the Secretary of State's office, who asked the officiant's name, emailed him in a revised authorization immediately, and they were able to do the ceremony and were legally wed. So Kelsey and Jake, congratulations, and you really made our day here in the town office. Other than that, I took some bids for sand, which we'll talk about later. I finished the report for the Potash Rd / drive discontinuation. I worked with the staff at the school to set up our meeting about the capital improvement plan and budget for October 16th. We'll have it in the school cafeteria because that's the space that's available, and it was really lovely to work with them. So that's kind of exciting to me. And the last bit of information is that our treasurer, Ellie, is going up to Burlington to go to VLCT's town fair event tomorrow and Wednesday. So she will come back full of knowledge.
That's great.
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, and then we'll move on to the highway commissioner. That'd be Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you this evening?
Good, good. Well, we've been doing
Do you want to
culverts.
come up here so you
Well,
can
I'm
be...
happy sitting right here.
I guess.
We've been out doing culverts, we're doing our fall grading, now the leaves are coming down, so we've been blowing leaves, so we've been out doing that. Cleaning, boys have been cleaning culverts, inlets, outlets, plus we've been installing them. We have a project that we went to contract this spring. We got a year extension on it, but they're still gonna try to get it done this fall, which would be with Bukowski Road, Campbell Road, Sweets Pond Road, and Cemetery Hill. I just haven't had a chance to talk to Mikey. The paving, they're supposed to be moving in this week to pave, to get that done, hopefully before it gets too cold here. And then also probably the next meeting, I would like to make a decision on the grader. I've been looking at them. I'm still getting prices on them. There's only two of them anyway, John Deere and the Cat. We went and looked at a new Cat this morning. And John Deere's, we have to go to a different town because they don't have them on the lot anymore. So you've got to make up your spec and order it. So, but anyways, I'd like to get that done because it's going to take a while to get one. It'll be anywhere from 6 months to maybe a year to get one. So, depending on how the production is. And that's about it. That's all I got for now. I mean, as far as that goes. And we're getting ready for winter too. We're going to start getting winter tires on, plow frames on, servicing trucks, and going through all our normal stuff that we do this time of year.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So when you get to Weatherhead Hollow Road, do you anticipate that the road will be closed for a period of time, or it will just be, stop and go?
When they're paving?
Yeah.
It'll be just stop and go. They'll keep traffic flowing.
Thank you.
And then down on the Greenland Bends where we put the stone, I called 3 different guardrail companies and I only got one to respond to me. And I've been calling them every day because I want to get that buttoned up. As soon as they get free, they're supposed to be coming in and doing that little section. So,
great.
Guardrail.
Isn't that packet idea?
Yes.
That's it for now.
Okay. All right.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks, Dan.
That's
Thanks so
great news.
much. All right. Next on the agenda, we have a report from the Historical Society.
Terrific.
Yes. Why don't you scoot right up, make a big transfer there in your seating capacity?
Yeah, well, the Historical Society at the museum, early on, we been meeting every Wednesday for a morning, and there's usually some of us there on a Wednesday. And we cleaned up, we took out a lot of trash, like 3 or 4 trash bags filled with stuff that was really trash that had to go, and old paper that got moldy in the back, and get rid of it, which was great. And we set up the exhibits so it's not so cluttered as it was, and it's, we've gone over, set it this way and that way and see what looks right, and then we just seem to agree that it looks right, and it does. So it's much better in there now. And let's see, we had several events at the Carpenter House, which turned out to be a maxed out event. It was, parking lot was overflowing, so that event went better than we thought. And the I-91 comes to Guilford on the Zoom meeting. Was a terrific turnout for that. They had more than they could handle. I-91 made a big difference to the area when it came through. And we had the Lucy Prince dedication of the historical marker at the Welcome Center. And that was quite an event. There were quite a few people there. And it was a quite memorable event. And the one-room schoolhouse presentation at BBCC, that just maxed out, filled the room with people. And we had a good people on the stage telling their stories, and which could go on and on. But it worked out great. It was really good. And it's the caring for the history we're responsible for at the museum. Well, we're in there. We're open on Saturday mornings, at least through the warmer weather. And people have stopped by with boxes of papers and photographs.
So
we have these boxes, and try to get them out of the way, but so we can go through them. Hopefully in the winter we'll take a box home and go through it. Because there's can be all kinds of valuable stuff in there as far as history goes. People stop in when they have some relative from Guilford in the 1800s sometime, and they take an interest in that. And they point out things like our book that we have, their names might be in the book. And anything we know about the families that they mention. So we have so much information that try to organize it so that similar stuff is kept together. But it's quite a job there to keep that. And we have the one-room schoolhouse, which we maintain. It looks great on the inside. When you go inside, it's just on the outside, the ridge line is bowing down somewhat. And we've asked about that in the past. Some people said, oh, it's okay. But I don't know if that's a problem or not. But we need to do a few more events at that schoolhouse and make it, visible. It's right, Guilford Center. And the Guilford Center Meeting House, we can actually use the vestibule of that up front. We have had some events where we kept the opening open. We can show people inside. We just don't let them go in the main area where the plaster might fall. It's falling in several places, and we've got, I think we've got one signed proposal for fixing it, and a couple of other people we've talked to. I just talked to another person this past Saturday about it, but I don't know where that part is going. But that's always a, oh, let's see. And that, so when we get the meeting house ceiling repaired, it's going to be a question of then how can this fit into Guilford Village? How can it, with the BBCC is there, and how can this be a complement to everything? So that'll be the question for, I'd like to hear from more people, and I'd like to hear from people who are actually interested in the meeting house as to its future, and they have to realize that it's fragile, But we'd like to keep it and see it there and see it being usable, despite its limitations, no bathroom, no water. But that would be an expensive upgrade and stuff like that. So I don't know if that can even happen. But we talk about, after we get it repaired, we can talk about any possible upgrades. The suggested sound system, redoing the electrical, lights, but that has to wait until we see what we're going to do with the building. And we have consulted with the state archivist about things. We have questions. And we've worked with the Conservation Commission, looking at cellar holes and stone walls, and I guess it should be any stone construction that looks like it was from 200 years ago or something. Some stone walls are really interesting. There's stone walls and there's really interesting constructions that you wonder, just how these came about. But future plans, we want to connect with the school more. It'd be nice to get this class of school kids over to the museum. And we do have some what I'd call yearbooks from Central School from 20 years ago. So we can show, maybe the kids would be interested in that. It's closer to their history. They might remember some of that stuff. People like to remember their own history, not so much who lived here 200 years ago. But that can be an interest to the school, which we hope we can get more action that way. And then with the library, we want to doing some historical research with the library, and anything we can coordinate with the library for historical library issues, and we can work with them. That would be great. And continuing to store the buildings, we're keeping an eye on it. Now the museum itself, I know the outside needs painting, which for years, but there are some rotted boards if I look around a little bit. I'm not a professional, so, but anyone can look at it and see there's rotting there. Does that need to be looked at by somebody who knows what he's doing? The tree in front is, some of the branches are touching the roof, and that, you know, I'd like to cut them off, but they do go over the power line feeding in. I said, I won't touch it. You know, but somebody could come in there. I think it wouldn't be too costly to just trim that tree back from that effort there. And some of the windows are, if you look close, they're, you know, they're window panes are staying in. I think one of the windows, some of the panes fell out. That window was repaired, restored, but the other windows are in questionable condition. So you can look at it yourself and see what, you know, who you might consult as to, you know, what the repairs would look like, and whether it's something you could do a couple of windows every year, spread the cost out, you know, that stuff. Painting, I guess that'd have to be done all at once. I don't know what that would cost, but yeah, it's one of those things. It would look better that way. I know I've trimmed back a lot of the weeds. I had most of them gone in May, but they're all back now.
Wet summer.
So I have to get back over there. I'll trim it up some more, so, you know, overwhelm the building. And have a handicap ramp going up the side. I think it's about 2 feet wide. It's paved, but the weeds do intrude on that. I haven't seen anybody try to use that as a handicap. We can enter from the back, the side door, but I don't know how wheelchair friendly it is. It looks like it's wide enough that you could get in with a little difficulty. And that's our storeroom back there too, so you have to see about making it accessible. But what the requirements would be, I don't know. If they require a 4-foot wide entrance, then I don't know. But that's another issue, which I don't know how important that is. But if somebody's walking with a walker, they could go up that ramp. If they couldn't manage the stairs, I've seen them walk up this. They refuse to use the ramp, so they go up the stairs. Put a little holder on there, so when you step up, because you got to go, when you're in the building, you just first enter, then you go on the main entrance, you got to step up again. I put a handle there, so it's helpful, they said, so. So that's good here. And I think we're consulting with an electrician about some internal lighting and stuff like that. We're going to change the main lights to put the LED lights that are brighter, and some spotlights on exhibits and stuff like that. Well, we keep contacting the electrician and they haven't gotten back to us again. So we have to keep poking at them to try and get something done. But that's what we're doing internally. I'm not sure what the status. I think we have the fire extinguishers up to date and stuff like that. I'm not sure, but I have to check on that. There was some kind of inspection in the spring or something. I don't know what the result was, that things that needed to be changed. Or some of the things we could do to change, just other things require somebody to come in and do it. But I guess that's about it.
All right, well, thank you very kindly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, did somebody else have a question? Oh, me. Right. I was curious about how many members working members the Historical Society has. Ballpark. The people who convene when you.
Yeah.
It was 11.
About 11. Yeah,
About
there's
11.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, we've had a number of citizens, talking with us about the condition of the building and that it is owned by the town and it is part of our capital plan. And maybe it would be good to have a point person from the Historical Society just to be the conversation partner when we're moving the capital plan forward. And I also didn't know about whether the Historical Society is it its own nonprofit? It's not, so they couldn't apply for ARPA funds? I'm just,
Well, maybe it is actually.
It is.
It's a zone on public
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, thank you.
And they are in fact
They can.
applying for.
501c3.
Yeah.
no,
We'll see
well,
that. We'll see that proposal probably at our next meeting.
Oh, okay.
oh, well, that's good, because that will help to consolidate the thinking about the building and dovetail with the capital plan and just have you not feel so alone about it, because it is an important building
Yeah.
to our town. And I really also appreciate what you're trying to do to conserve the meeting house. Our beautiful quandary, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's in excellent condition inside.
I see that Tara's hand is up. Tara?
Yeah, I was also thinking, like Veranda was thinking, and I was just wanting to confirm that the Historical Society, they are that group oversees the meeting house. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. And so I think that I don't know what is compiled in the ARPA grant that is going to be presented soon, but I think that there seems to be a lot of things that the Historical Society could potentially ask for, such as historical preservation, as well as electricity and running water for the meeting house. So it'll be great to know what the grant ask is, but also hopefully there's somebody doing some work to make sure that it's a real good ask, because there's a lot of different things here that I think need to be done. And I think now's the time to do that. And now's the time to ask for
Yeah, good. Great. Tara, I can just respond to that and say that we're having a little bit of a conversation with folks at the society about what their application can actually look like and how it can be a little bit tighter and so forth. And what we first received an application that was just too broad for us to consider, so they're
Right.
tightening it down. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it'll probably be out soon, I understand. All right, well, thank you,
Okay.
Richard. Thanks.
Thanks, good report.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And please
okay.
convey our gratitude
Yeah.
for all of the organizing and presenting, because it's been, I mean, clearly people are fascinated with all this stuff, and I am one of those people.
Thank you. All right, so folks, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which we move into the area of old business. These are topics that the Select Board has seen before, and we have further discussion, further actions, just items that need to be continued to be dealt with. The first one in the list is the conflict of interest. We have a proposed amendment that we'll be looking at tonight for our current conflict of interest policy. So, the Select Board has seen, we have a copy of that that the Select Board has. Tara, would you like to talk about this for a moment?
Sure. So last week I read potential amendments or changes, and there's definitely some wording that wasn't accurate, and Zahn and Erica were very great and helping to rewrite it, reword it, and we all agree that this amendment that I'm about to read covers the basis of what I think a lot of people want to see in the conflict of interest policy and what I want to see, and hopefully that we can agree on that. So I had talked about Article 3. And I'm just gonna read the new verbiage, and that's replace current Article 3. The application is this policy applies to all public officers as the term is defined below. It was much broader last time, and it didn't need to be. We're gonna replace it with this policy applies to all public officers as well as members of public bodies as defined in Article 4, Sections E and G. Is that right, or is that flipped?
I think it's correct.
Okay, because what I had written about the ENG, but okay, sorry. The second one is to reword the current Article 13. So the current article is annually, in the interest of transparency, at the first organizational meeting of the Select Board annually, each Select Board member shall complete a conflict of interest related party statement and questionnaire, attachment A, for the ensuing year. Any new members appointed to the Select Board in the interim shall complete the statement and questionnaire upon their appointment. We would like to amend it to read, annually, in the interest of transparency, at the first organizational meeting, public officers and members of all public bodies shall sign the conflict of interest policy as an indication of having read the policy. Additionally, each member shall complete a conflict of interest statement, attachment B. These documents shall be submitted to the town administrator. Any new public officer or member of a public body appointed by the Select Board in the interim shall sign the policy and complete the statement upon appointment. And then it does say the attachment does not exist, but it's going to be created. And then we also, Erica came up with our own town of Guilford conflict of interest, hold on a minute, reference. And Erica, can people see that?
I can, let's see. I can
Okay.
on my screen, I believe, and share it.
It's very similar to the Vermont Code of Ethics, which is what you know, I thought was a really good example. But Erica has really curtailed it to be specific to the town of Guilford, our own reference.
Oops.
Attachment, and this is attachment B. This is what people will also have to read and sign that they read it.
Now hold up here.
And I can read it. It's not too long.
Yeah, the Select Board has seen it.
So it's just like, do you ask yourself if you have a conflict of interest or an appearance of one? So you ask yourself questions. Do I have any influence or control over the matter? If no is the answer, then there's no conflict. Could I or a family member, etc., potentially benefit or lose from the outcome of the matter? If no, no conflict. Would the benefit or loss be more than the general public or the average person who would benefit or lose? No, no conflict. Is the benefit or loss more than just de minimis, too trivial or minor to merit consideration? No, no conflict. If any answers when you ask yourself these questions are yes, then you probably have a conflict or a potential conflict. Would a reasonable average person with knowledge of all relevant facts think you have a conflict of interest? If no, then there's no appearance of conflict. If yes, you may have a conflict. So then it just says, what do you do if you think you might have a conflict? You know, you disclose it, you discuss it, you consider recusal, you recuse yourself. And then on this one, recording is number 5. And it says the minutes of the meeting or the written decision from the hearing shall document the above process. So is that after somebody recuses themselves and we just document it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, I found it. Here it is.
And are we going to do what the Vermont's Code of Ethics does? Or actually it might be in I'm not sure if it's in our policy. I don't have it in front of me. But if somebody say thinks that someone has a conflict of interest, but the person really doesn't think they do, can they then write reasons why they do not think they have a conflict to stay, you know, in the conversation?
Yes, I mean, in the sense that our policy currently describes what a person needs to do if there is a conflict of interest. And further, I think there's a guideline in statute that guides all of this as well. So to say once again, just to be really clear, that this conflict of interest document we're looking at right here and the conflict of interest policy that we're considering amending has to do with the work of our various commissions and does not deal with the separate issue, which is a separate topic of how the public names or claims conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest. All right, so do we all in the select board feel like we understand what's in front of us here? What we're addressing? Does anybody have any comments? Anybody select board member?
I do.
Did we move it and second it?
No, not yet. Well, you're proposing, Tara, that this is moved then, or?
And I propose that we move to make an amendment of the current conflict of interest policy to
As you've read it, as
it is written, yes.
All right, I will second that, just to move it onto the table so we can begin discussing it. Thank you. All right. So first we'll have a conversation here at the select board, and then we'll see if there's a comment from the community. All right. So.
Well, I would just offer that I think, for me, asking members of all public bodies to sign a conflict of interest policy, as well as completing a conflict of interest statement, is, for me, redundant and unnecessary. I would prefer to just have public body members sign the conflict of interest policy.
So just to clarify, Michael, are you suggesting that we delete the wording in Article 13, additionally, each member shall complete a conflict of interest statement, attachment B?
That is what
and then there's another part at the very end of that article.
And also striking and complete the statement.
Upon appointment.
Yeah.
Oh, sign the policy, okay, and complete the statement. So it would read, and so the last sentence would read, any new public officer or member of a public body appointed by the select board in the interim shall sign the policy upon appointment, but not complete the statement. Is that correct?
The only people, I'm sorry, but the only people that have to do the statement is actually the select board members.
Well, not if we say it this way in this new version here. It says that every member.
Any new member appointed to the select board. And then it says that any new member of a public body has to read the conflict of interest policy, B, read attachment B, and agree and sign something saying they read the conflict of interest policy. It doesn't say they have to do the party statement or questionnaire A. It says the select board has to do that. It says anybody in Article 13, it said that everybody else who's a member of a public body needs to read it, read attachment B, and sign it. Is that not right?
I don't think so. If I understand.
The select board member shall complete a conflict of interest related party statement and questionnaire. Any new members?
That's what it says.
Okay. Any new members of the select board? Because we had talked about last week that we had discussed that people didn't want every single person on any committee having to give a financial statement. And it has been changed. It says that at the first organizational meeting, public officers or members of all public bodies shall sign the conflict of interest policy as an indication of having read the policy. Additionally, each member shall complete a conflict of interest statement, attachment B.
So that's,
Okay, so that's the attachment that doesn't exist.
and that's,
Okay. And that's the attachment that we would word very generally as to not be a financial document.
and that's the sentence that Michael's suggesting that we might want to take out.
I mean, if the document doesn't exist yet, I wouldn't feel comfortable having it being in this proposed amendment.
We can't agree to anything without the document and knowing what that's gonna
So
say.
at this point in time, I think we should strike out the additionally, each member shall complete a conflict of interest statement, attachment B, if attachment B doesn't exist yet.
Well, I don't think that we should amend anything yet until we have attachment B, and then we can agree or disagree.
All right.
Well, just pertinent to this conversation, I said that I would ask the two commissions that I'm on the cemetery commission and I'm the liaison to the rec commission. And people on the rec commission didn't really want to spend time on the nuances of all this, and they said, I mean, in general, the feeling of the group was that they just wanted the issue to go away, and whatever they had to do to make it go away would be satisfactory to them. Some of the members of the cemetery commission, which is an older, more stable commission, you know, the same people being on it for a long time, felt that being asked to sign this statement was offensive on principle, and that it was like being asked to sign a loyalty oath. And there was a feeling that it was a misunderstanding of what our commission does. You know, that there was no way within the scope of work for that commission that anybody could feather their own nest, you know, so to speak. And I was interested in the depth of feeling about that. And it was especially poignant because, you know, we spent the morning hacking down brush and dragging things and doing a lot of volunteer work. And so I think that influenced the feeling of don't pick on us, we're doing, I mean, those are my words, that, you know, we're doing public service for our town, and why isn't there the trust there, is my sense of what people were feeling.
Yeah, just to back that up, I don't think a two-step process is helpful or necessary for members of the public body, for a cemetery commission member, someone on conservation, any of these commissions. I think it just feels too distrustful to me.
So one way we could move forward, I'm seeing right now, is, well, there seem to be two options. We could either table this conversation yet again until there is an attachment B. And so Tara, I would ask you, if we choose that you would develop that attachment for us as a draft so we could look at it. Another way we could go forward would be that if we struck that sentence per Michael's suggestion, we could go forward with the policy as it stands now, and I mean as it would stand, without asking people that wouldn't even be a question at this point. We would have everyone's signature on the policy, which describes everything, and then we'd go forward. So I see two options here.
Okay, well, I would rather table it because I think, I mean, I've heard what people are saying, what you guys are saying, but I also feel like we need to have something a little stronger to balance the distrust from another side. And the bottom line is most people are going to read the conflict of interest policy, look at attachment A, look at attachment B, that's where they're going to sign anyway. And all they have to do is say no or yes, I work for somebody. It's pretty simple. And I think that there's a huge part of our community that is really, really wanting this to happen. So if I need to get some quotes from other people about why they think that's important, maybe I can do that.
I think, yeah, we've heard that for sure. So that might be good to get, but yeah. All right.
You know, excuse me for interrupting. I just had an idea that maybe it would be interesting, Tara, to ask somebody to offer a community comment at the next meeting that may be aggregated.
I don't mean to interrupt, Miranda, but I've had people say, do you,
Tara?
I've had people say, do you want us to come in and have, you know, make community comments? Like, we really want this to happen, and what can we do? So now I will reach out to those people that want to be involved, that want their voices heard, and I think that that's great. So how do we want to have a community comment, like at the next meeting, where the people can, other than me, can voice their opinions about this topic?
So yeah, there are two ways we can do. I mean, there are two ways. There always have been two ways. Anybody can offer a community comment at any meeting. That's what that part of the meeting is for. So that can be about any topic that's not on the agenda, for instance. But then also when the board is considering a topic like we're doing this evening, and if we were to take an action, and action's on the table, then we will open it up to the community too before we take a vote. If we decide that we're going to take a vote. So let's see. It seems to me that where we are right now. So Tara, it sounds to me like you're actually. Am I correct that you're actually asking that we not? You're pulling your motion back then, essentially.
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So what, do we have to vote on tabling it?
No.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think we do. I think you can, I don't know, I think you can just pull the action back. Rescind the motion, yeah. I think you can just pull it. Or we could vote on it but we would vote to not adopt it and we would try again. Okay, this issue, while it's important, it's definitely taking up a lot of our time. So yeah, let's, so are we all comfortable doing this? We'll table this motion for the next time, and let's make the next meeting be the one at which we have everything together. All right? Do our best.
So just to clarify, Tara, do you think that it would be more effective to have one person, let's say, represent the community comments of a number of people, or just to have people make comments in the midst of our discussion at the next meeting about the policy?
I think I need to gather some information before I can actually make that decision.
If you want to, reach out to me on the community comment option, since I'm the one who puts it on the agenda, either one is fine with me.
Okay, I think that we definitely need to hold space for community comment next week, prior to making the decision.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move ahead. Next on the agenda is the Potash Road discontinuance report, and for this, I'm going to turn to Erica.
Right. So, at the last select board meeting on September 11th, the select board voted to have the they chose, after we had our discontinuation hearing and site visit in early September, to make the decision at a select board meeting and a public meeting. And so that decision happened last select board meeting on the 11th. The decision was to discontinue Potash Road as a town road, which it has in effect been for the last 5 years, maybe more. 5 at least. So. Yeah, 5 or so years with the landowners maintaining it. And so a statutory result of that is something called a decision and order of the Select Board of the Town of Guilford for the discontinuance of Potash Road. This will be, once it's signed by the Select Board today, the official record. It will be entered into Guilford's land records, and it will be sent to the State Highway Administration. It will affect our highway mileage by 0.2 miles. And so that is something that I worked on since the last select board meeting, and it's here for everyone to be signed. It's just it's an official record of the proceedings of the hearing, of the evidence that was heard, the public comment that was heard, the findings of fact about Potash Road, and the finding that public good, necessity, and convenience of the inhabitants of the municipality require the town highway number 40 Potash Road be discontinued. So that is here to be signed off on by the select board today. I don't know that there's any action to be taken today.
I think just just to be safe, and I just want to say that this also has been overseen by or looked at by our town's attorney to make sure that everything's in order according to statute.
Yes.
So we have the okay to sign off on that. I think that just to be safe, it would be good if the select board would accept this. So I'll move to accept this report, as even though we've already made the vote and everything, that we'll accept this report so it can go into the town's records. So I'll move that. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Michael.
I have a question.
One second, please.
Okay.
Just want to see first if come right to you. Is there any conversation that we need to have here at the select board about this? It's a document that we haven't read necessarily, but it's a document that has been fully prepared just in accordance with statute. We sign off on it just to say that we made the vote and we are witness to the record. So yes.
I have a question. I have not seen anything on how you came to this decision. We had a meeting and nothing was ever aired or discussed, or at least how you came to your conclusions. And I feel that and you've got a document there now again, nobody knows anything, what's in the document? How did you come to where you, in the discontinuation? I'm sorry, I missed the last meeting, I was out of town, and now I'm hearing this is running right through. Yeah. And you know, to your point, this has been a 5-year thing, and you people are just running with it again, and I just don't understand that. In all fairness, we are abutters on that road, yes. And the statute of the road in the current statute, we are abutters, and it doesn't seem like that you've given any consideration to any of us on our side, and you're going forward with something that I feel is you have two opposing an agreement on one side. So how do you come to that conclusion? How did you come to that conclusion? I think there's a right for the town community to know that, because to discontinue a road, that's big, that's huge in any community. And I'm feeling like we're not getting a fair share here. And I really think people owe us an explanation, an answer of why it's taking place. When we're abutters right there on that property, and that's and you're forcing me to go to alternate means of getting possibility to gain access to my land to do my future build that I came to this town and the community to take part with, and now you people are just running with this again.
All right, thank you for the comments. I won't take time here to respond because that's what we say in our protocol.
You can't. You have to respond because how can you not respond when you go and you make a decision and nobody knows how you derived at that decision?
It's not quite, Mr. Ewan, it's not quite fair to say nobody knows. You admitted yourself you weren't at the last meeting. The minutes for that.
I listened to the meeting and there was no discussion at all other than we moved to make a vote. I saw that. That's on documents. And then I hear some comments that I felt that were unjust, if you want to know. And it came right from Miranda right there saying, oh, it's finally done. You know, when you make comments like that, that's like, to me, you're just like, you shouldn't have made that comment, because to me that was opposing. That made me feel like you had no consideration for us as a community member, a taxpayer, and road frontage on that road, and as a public way, and a historical road too. To be.
Thank you, Erica.
So yeah, what I was going to say was that as an abutter, you will get a notice of this, and I believe have a chance to appeal within, I believe it's 60 days, might be 30, but I'll let you know. You'll be getting the notice.
And I feel this is a complete conflict of interest as well. And I would like to speak with Tara about that as well, because I feel this is a lot of...
All comments are directed to the chair. If you want to talk to Tara, you're entirely free.
I'm going to talk to her. I'd like her to get with me if she can.
Yeah, I just want to make it really clear that you're not precluded from doing that, just not in this meeting.
I understand, and I'm not going to bring it up tonight, but I honor that. I'd like to have the opportunity to have some discussion.
Thank you. All right, we'll move ahead then to the October 16th. The next,
huh? We didn't vote.
Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. I get a little flustered here. Okay, so we need to conduct a vote. Is there any other comment about the vote about the issue here that we have in the room or online? I see none. Okay, so. Thank you, Erica. We're going to vote now by roll to accept the discontinuance report that will go into the town records. So, Tara?
I'm going to stay.
Mm-hmm. Michael?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
Zahn says aye. So that report is into the record. Thank you very kindly. Then we'll move ahead. To the next item on the agenda, which is the October 16th public hearing on capital plan. And I just want to let everyone here in the room and online know that on October the 16th, we will be conducting a public meeting, a hearing and a sharing about our intentions as we're developing them about the capital plan. And I want to share with folks here just a little bit about some of the work and some of the thinking we're doing, so you can understand a little bit of the process that we go through with the capital plan. So we're going to get that up online here in just a second, I hope.
Yeah.
There it is.
So I need
Can you just tell the public what time that is? I think I know,
yes.
but I'm not positive.
Thank you, Michael. October 16th at 6:30 p.m. and the meeting will be at the Guilford School in the cafeteria. We'll be holding a public hearing and sharing opportunity.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we have
And everyone's good.
Framework.
So this is a framework that the staff has developed to begin to look at how the capital plan is developed and worked through. And so if you look through, just quickly, I'll go through it very quickly, and we can look at the by column at the different issues. Can you roll it up just a little bit? I don't know how much that will allow. There you go. Oops,
Yes,
yeah, that's good enough. Well, no, go down a little bit more. There you go.
Inventory.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. So the town of Guilford has, in the left column, there's categories of inventory, but the town of Guilford has many, many aspects of its inventory that we look at as part of our capital improvement plan. And what we will be doing for the next 5 years is looking at all of these items under each inventory. So we could, for instance, take the word bridges and blow it out to the next category, and there might be many, many bridges there that would be part of that list under the bridges. The same with issues inside the garage, same with the highway equipment. All the different issues that under each of those categories, those topics. Then we're looking at every single piece of inventory and anticipating what its needs might be over the next 5 years. That's column B. So hundreds of inventory items are being looked at right now. Then in column C, if there's an anticipated need that looks like something that needs to be done, we need to develop an estimated cost for that need. And that's just the first part of what's done. Then when we get that information, then we will assign the important needs to a fiscal year over the next 5 years. And then after they're assigned, the ones that are in the closest years, 25 and 26, will be developed into each item, each need will have a project worksheet that will plot sources and uses of dollars. And it's important to say here, and I think one of the confusions that I've seen in the community is that our capital plan is funded, our ability to address the physical needs, the infrastructure needs of our town are not funded only by our capital plan. There are a number of sources, fund sources that can address our capital plan. So each worksheet will then characterize where we anticipate monies could be brought to a particular project or a particular need. If everything lines up and we have enough money and everything's laid out right and looks good, then the project would be implemented according to plan, and any variance would come before the select board. And then at the end of the project, there would be an asset management report that, at the end of the year, there would be an asset management report that would talk about how all of those projects got done in a particular fiscal year. So essentially, it would be a compilation of project worksheets. We're going to be talking about this on October 16th and breaking it out into more detail and listening to people's concerns about the kinds of things that they see and notice as we try to put all this together. We are also aware that in the town report that we can do a lot of work to upgrade the quality of reporting that's done in the town report about the capital, about our assets, Guilford's assets, how we manage those assets. And we might think of something called an asset management report. This might be an asset management plan that is funded in part by our capital reserves, as well as grants and all sorts of other funding capacities that are out there. So that's kind of an overview of where things stand right now. It's not in great detail at this point, but we're working on that. And then we would have a report that would hopefully would give an overview of what we anticipate as well as what happened in a previous year. That would be in the town report each year. I don't know if there are any comments or questions. I just wanted to show that to folks and let you know that it's kind of like a teaser. That's the kind of thing we're going to be talking about on October 16th. These are kinds of issues and things.
Oh, Zan, I have a comment. I think it's really interesting to see it broken out like this, and I think another part of our reporting back should be how we'll ensure that we keep the momentum going for the plan, because a tremendous amount of energy and work went into the last capital plan but it's very clear that we lost momentum and focus. And so, so just having a kind of safe trajectory, I think will be important to reassure ourselves and the public.
It's a good point, Brenda. I think it's also one thing that the staff is, we were talking about at a previous meeting, was the idea that that plan, when it was built, was done with consultant help, looking at every single asset in the community, making big lists and all that kind of thing. And there may be still places that we will want to bring in some consultant help in preparing the next list, but there may not be as well. There will be plenty of places that where we have the expertise we need right in-house to be able to do this process and manage things well enough. So, good. All right, I see, normally we wouldn't have any discussion at this point, but because I know it will be a topic. Is this, Tammy, I see your hand raised. If this is something you'd like to know now or comment, please say it. If it's something you'd wait till October 16th, happy to have that as well. So.
I won't be able to be at the October 16th. So my question is, Veranda just made a comment about the last capital plan. And I'm curious where that is, because I was told there is no capital plan in place, that we are now just starting to put one together. So how do I access the capital plan that Veranda just spoke of? Because I was told there is no capital plan.
Well, I'm going to look very quickly, Tammy, on the Guilford website. I think there's a plan there called the Guilford Capital Plan.
I've asked for it numerous times, and I was told it does not exist.
Do you have access to the
website? Absolutely. There was a capital needs assessment done 5 years ago, and I've seen that. But go look on that page, capital plan. I'm just looking, I see about 5 or 6 different kinds of reports on that page if you click through. And maybe what you're looking for is there. If it's not, give us a call and we'll try to find it. I don't know exactly what you're looking for. Capital plan. I thought there was a capital plan was supposed to be put in place every year. And I had asked, I'd actually asked you, I thought, Zon, and Sheila, and Peter Rude, and I was told there wasn't one. So I was just curious where it was.
Well, we're definitely going to be making it for sure. And I'm not sure that, I don't know the answer to that right now. So I feel a little bit caught right here to be able to tell you. I don't have a definitive answer to tell you right now. Okay. I'll look it up though and get back to you. All right, Tammy, thanks.
Hi.
All right.
Document here on the website called Capital Plan Budget 2021. And this is the document that if I'm looking at what we refer to as the last capital plan, this is what it is. It's every piece of equipment, every estimate, what needs to be done, and what we're thinking about now is looking at all this, looking at what's been done, what still needs to be done, and just rolling it forward, because all the information is here.
Built there.
So,
that was my question. Like, there should just be an Excel spreadsheet. This looks like the CIP futures that we're looking at. It's the very, very beginnings of an Excel spreadsheet, but there should be Excel spreadsheets with the capital plan that are in the system somewhere. And one would think that you would just copy it and change information.
oh, Sheila, that's right.
I said, okay, here we go into a big conversation. Sheila.
Yep, I'm going to unmute. So I just wanted to say that what I think Tammy is asking for is the annual capital report, which we have discussed on numerous occasions, and which was not updated on an annual basis. Hence all these efforts over the past year to refigure what we need to do and how to be accountable to the town. Thank you.
Yes, okay, so I see, so.
Thank you, Sheila.
Difference between a plan and a report, yeah.
Sorry, that was my confusion.
Okay. All right, is there anything else here? All right.
Sheila's hand is up, but I think it's probably wants to be down at this point. Okay, folks, so that's October the 16th, and we'll have a good hearty discussion, I hope. Moving forward then to new business, winter sand bids. I think we're hearing from...
Danny, do you want it? Well, I have them.
Erica's got them.
Yeah, Erica has the prices for the...
All right.
Yep, so we put out an RFP. Oh, when was that? End of August probably, and we got the responses on September 11th. We heard from Zaluzny and Allstates and Cold River. So Zaluzny came in at $10.38 a ton picked up, $12.69 delivered. Allstates is more than that, $11.20 picked up, $19.70 delivered. And this was, the spreadsheet is in the drive as well. And Cold River was a lot more than that at $15 picked up plus $130 an hour for delivery. So for what Guilford needs, which is essentially 4,000 cubic yards, we're looking at 54. Danny, we get it delivered, right?
No, we pick it up.
We pick it up. Okay, so for Zaluzny that's 54,000. For Allstates that's 58,240, and for Cold River that's 90,000. Our budget for fiscal year 24 is 51,500.
So, all right, we have three numbers there, roughly 54,000, 58,000, and 90,000. And so
I'd like to make the recommendation go with Zaluzny.
that would be the $54,000.
Yeah.
All right, and we pick that up. All right.
We pick it up.
All right.
And that pit is in Vernon, which is like probably about a 18-mile round trip.
Okay, so it's over budget. It's over our budget.
It's depending on what your winter is.
Yeah.
You know, it's all depends on the weather. I mean, right now my shed's full.
Oh, I see.
So I got that to start out with. And usually at the end of the year, if I got money left over for sand, I fill that shed.
So
it's not, we may not spend all that money.
Because you're picking it up as you go along.
Right,
so
we're picking up, and then once my shed gets full, if I got money left over, well, it's surplus.
All right, so then you're asking us to essentially give you leeway or authority to be able to spend up to that amount.
Right, it's a budgeted item.
Yeah, okay.
It's what we budget every year.
All right, okay.
And all materials have increased across the board, so from last year.
Yeah, I'll move to accept Dan's recommendation to go with the Zaluzny bid.
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, Michael seconded. Thank you. Is there any discussion here at the select board? Anything else you want to say? Sheila, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that if it does go over budget, if it looks like it's going over budget, you will have the budget status reports, and you can then decide from where to draw the funds. But Danny's right, he usually manages it very well.
Okay, good. Thanks for that confidence, Sheila. All right. All right, I will take a roll call here. So Tara.
Aye.
Michael.
Aye.
Brenda. Aye. Zahn says aye. Okay, thank you. All right, then we move on to the winter salt. Next item.
That's the same thing. We go through the state bid, which Cargill Incorporated got the salt bid again this year. And I budgeted about 400 ton. And the price of that is 86 bucks a ton. But that's through the state pricing. So it's already gone to bid for us. I just wanted to give you guys let you know what the price is.
All right, so thank you.
And I do the same with that. If I got money left over in the spring, I fill my shed, and I usually tuck a little bit in the corner of the sand shed, so I got salt to start with. So.
Okay,
Good.
And so the estimated tons that we need is 400, and at $86 a ton, that's $34,400, and the budget is $35,000.
Okay.
So
That's what I call tight budgeting. Good. Thank you, Dan. Thanks, Dan. All right.
And we can assume that the prices are going to go up every year.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, it seems like, yeah. Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is
So do we have to vote on that?
No, we don't.
Oh, we
It's
don't.
a-
Oh,
it's
good.
just letting, it's already been done.
It's a budget.
It's a budget
Great,
item,
okay,
so it's
sorry.
not bid. We don't. The state controls that bidding process.
Okay.
We don't.
And like when I buy my culverts, the culverts are state bid too.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is a discussion about the Finance Advisory Committee. And I'll just, we don't have an action yet that we will make. We have some things that we want to talk about and see if we want to have an action. And if we do, then we'll move ahead. So currently, the Finance Committee has, by select board vote, has 7 members on the committee. Its charge is on the website. We can look at what its charge is. The committee has, because of COVID and other issues, the committee has not met for some time. So the considerations, I think, in front of us this evening to discuss are, do we want to continue with the Finance Advisory Committee? And there's input about that I can provide if we wanted. Do we want to continue with the Finance Committee? If we do we want to change the size of it? The Select Board has the authority to set the size of any committee or commission that works in service for the Select Board. The smallest number can be 3, the largest number can be 9.
But it always has to be an odd number?
It doesn't have to be, but it's recommended for voting issues, I think. All right, so I don't know if any select board members have any feelings or any thoughts that they'd like to put out there at this point.
Well, it certainly has been useful to us to have a Finance Advisory Committee. I mean, we first established one because of some errors that were made, and the people who were on the financial advisory group were really thoughtful and very engaged with the select board, and I found their input really valuable.
So you'd be in favor of continuing? Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a strong feeling about how many people, because I don't know how many volunteers want to put in that much time and have that sort of granular skill, which I don't have.
Any other thoughts?
I can tell you that there are currently 7 members. 1 position is vacant. Gordon Little and Tim Harris and Sheila Morse would like to continue. Lynn Pancake has resigned from the committee. So.
All right.
I think if they're interested in continuing, it'd be helpful to have their input as we work on the capital.
Yeah, and I think it was helpful to have their input, for instance, on the budget process last year. Tara, do you have anything you'd like to offer? Any thoughts? No, just listening.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Great.
I'm not exactly sure. No, I think any committee that can help us with finances is a great thing.
Yeah, good. All right, I'll call then on Sheila, and then we'll go to Tammy.
Thank you. Thanks. So I just wanted to say that, first of all, we did meet during COVID, Zon, up until the end of 21. And then I got involved in town administrator position, and I failed to formally convene the Finance Advisory Committee during that year plus of my involvement as a town administrator. But we did informally involve people the members, especially during the budget workshop last year. And I'm grateful that Gordon and Tim are still interested in doing that. I think that that it is valuable. Gordon and I each bring somewhere around 7 or 8 years of experience with town finances, which I think is greater than any other person serving on the select board or in other roles in the town at this point. And I think we do bring an important perspective and knowledge foundation to what's going on in town. I would like to see younger people involved because I think the mandate, and I urge everybody to look at this online, the mandate, the whole purpose and the functions of the committee are online. And I think I would recommend that we involve more than 3 people and that we encourage people to come and invest in this particular aspect of advising for many years, that you can't come and go and understand it. You can't dip in and out and understand what's going on. So I just want to recommend that we keep going and that we have a few more people on the board if we can find them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. All right, Tammy?
Yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that I would be willing to sit on that board. So if you're looking for someone else, I would be willing to do that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tammy. Thank you very much.
So I'm a little unclear. I mean, I heard there was 1 resignation, and I mean, it can be at the moment 7 members.
Yes.
But do we have 7 interests? I mean, so I think I'd be willing to consider downsizing it to 5 people, given that we're struggling to, I think, get 7 people consistently participating. Just maybe it would be more realistic and manageable.
Okay. Would you like to make that as a motion?
I would.
All right.
I have a question. So,
just 1 second. Sorry, Tara. 1 second, please. I just want to technically second that. Okay. All right.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right.
So Michael's requesting to make it mandatory 5-person panel, but we can still have 7 or more if people are interested. Is that correct?
Yes. What we do is we set a number. It's essentially a minimum number that we don't want it to go below that. That's our goal. Yeah. Yeah. But certainly, if more people, yeah. If more people want to be engaged, that's fine. Good.
So the motion should be that we have a minimum of 5 members.
The motion would be that the select board is changing the number from 7 to 5. We don't have to say anything about minimum. We just say the number.
But you don't think that would discourage people from wanting to volunteer to do that?
You mean if we had, I don't understand.
I don't know.
You're suggesting that if we leave it at 7, it will encourage more people?
I think that, no, I was just saying that I was, I guess, offering a friendly amendment that we say a minimum of 5 members, so that if people want to volunteer for this, they know that they're not precluded by a ceiling on the numbers.
So I'll just respond quickly and say that I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, okay.
Is all I would say. So I'm not sure that we can state a minimum or maximum. I think we state a number. So can we maybe go forward with this motion, and then if we can amend it at another moment when I know more than I know now. Unless you know. Sheila? Do you have any insight into this? Do you have any statute information?
No, I just think that you could say between 3 and 7 members, it's been very difficult to keep 4 or 5. And so right now we have 3. I'm welcoming Tammy's offer to be a part of that committee. And if we get more people, maybe you don't want to put an upper limit on it. I'd love to see more people involved.
Let me just look here.
No limits.
Of course, it's not absolutely clear. It says that we have to set a number between 3, but the number can be not less than 3 and not more than 9.
So why don't we just say not less than 3? Because any number after that is acceptable. Correct?
I'm not sure.
Well, do we have to vote on this tonight if we?
No, we don't have to vote.
Because if we need more advice about just having it be clear and welcoming at the same time, then maybe we don't have to have a decision tonight.
Okay, I will rescind my motion. No, I ask you.
I'll rescind my motion.
Yeah, my class rescind this motion.
Sorry, it's just, I just.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. No, it's absolutely fine. We can take it up at the next meeting. Just so we can try to be clearer. I don't think we're gonna, we have more than what, we have a commission currently in town that is set at 7 members. That's what it said. And it's perennially around 4 people are on that. And it just has been that way since I've been on the select board. So I think that it may be a moot point. So I think we can just leave it at 7 for now and figure out what we're gonna do later.
Yeah, but maybe we can also do some recruitment. For instance, if we put something in the Gazette saying maybe Sheila could write up a little something with the approval of, anybody who wants to look at it, right. To recruit people, explain the mandate and recruit people, just, a box saying, let's do this.
All right. Good point. Thank you. Let's move ahead then to the liquor license.
We have an iPhone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I asked them in the chat
to
name themselves, and they have not yet.
Thank you, Erica. So on the screen right now, there's a person who's identified as iPhone 413348. Can you please change that so that we can see your first and last name, or at least your first initial and last name? And if the change isn't made, unfortunately, we have to put you in the waiting room. That's our protocol. So thank you for that. Let's go ahead with a liquor license request. Erica.
I have that as well. We have a liquor license request. It's a request to cater an event. It is a wedding at Viking Village from Vermont Mobile Spirits, LLC. And this event is on, I believe it's September 30th. Yep. So the state has changed the way they do this a little bit. They don't require select board signatures anymore, but we're just asking for approval anyway so that Danielle can go ahead and approve it.
Great.
So this is a vote?
No, we have, we'll have to take a vote, So I will move to approve this liquor license. Is there a second?
I will second.
Thanks, Miranda. Thanks. All right, is there any discussion?
How nice.
All right. All right, take the vote around the room. So Tara?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zon says aye. Thank you very kindly. All right, now the next item on the agenda is a town office door project. We have one door in our office, in the town office, that there's a doorway, but there's no door. And we'd like to get a door installed. So I'll turn this over to Erica.
Okay. So this has been months in the making. As Zon said, our new treasurer Ellie, at some point during town office renovations in 2018 or so, there was a door that was removed from her office, and she would like it back because it is sometimes very busy and noisy in the town office, believe it or not. And tax season is a very busy time. I don't expect that we'll get this done by October 15th, which is when taxes are due. But we will begin this process, and I looked all over the place. I requested quotes from, I think, 5 different contractors, and the only one who actually had time and answered me was GPI, who did the renovations of the town office to begin with. So I am requesting the select board approve this expenditure because the quote is $3,625 from GPI, and so it will match all the other doors in the building. And yeah, that's that. The source of funds would be the general reserve fund, or a combination of Ellie as the delinquent tax collector. I think we know Ellie's feeling is that the delinquent tax collector, being a town employee anyway, doesn't really need to collect the fees. She feels that should be the town's money, but that's the way it's set up anyway. So Ellie has offered some of the delinquent tax collector fees to go to this project if the select board so desires. Or we could, split it between the general reserve and delinquent tax collector fees.
But to be safe, we know that the general reserve fund can cover it. That's the important.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's.
And so would the source of the funding have to be part of a motion?
I don't think so, no, because
No, I think
we can
Right.
determine that with more certainty as we go.
Well, I would like to move that Ellie gets her door.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I could put it in a more formal way.
You know what you mean. That I think we need to authorize Erica to finalize this project.
Okay, so moved.
A second. Any discussion here at the select board?
Yes. I would just like to say that I am an employee of GPI Construction, the company that's being considered here, and I will be abstaining from this vote. I have no ownership stake in this company.
And you wouldn't have to install the door one way or the other?
Correct.
So, all right. Thank you. Any other comments here at the board? Thank you, Michael. 1 second, please. I just want to say that I think it's in an abundance of caution that you're willing to abstain from the vote is fine. I don't think there's actually a conflict of interest here, but I appreciate the offer, the energy. So, okay, Mr. Yuan.
Is it possible to fix our town sign out here that identifies the town office? That's pretty sad. I thought this would be appropriate to maybe add it to the list. It's really sad.
It's not on the agenda, but it's definitely on the docket.
Yes.
Okay, we're working on it. Thank you. Tammy?
And I have an idea.
Oh,
Yeah. Quick question. Did I understand correctly? There was a door there and it was removed? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes, years ago.
I think several.
The old door is not here. They maybe got put somewhere else. So a new door is.
But during the renovation, that door was in place, and then the select board voted to have it removed.
No, I think it just was removed during renovation.
I think the offices were reconfigured, if I'm not mistaken.
I think, I would guess, I don't know this, Tammy, but my guess would be that the select board's engagement at that point was to approve overall expenditures for an architectural design.
Right, and that design didn't include a door there. So this is a new door.
Yes.
It's a new door.
It's renovations. That's what I was looking for clarification on.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll take a roll call for that. Tara?
Aye.
Michael's abstaining.
I will abstain.
Thank you. Brenda?
Aye.
And Zon says aye, so that passes. Thank you. All right, then we'll move on to the finance portion of our meeting, and we'll look at the warrants. Do you want to do those online? Tara, are you prepared?
Oh, yeah,
Good.
I sure am. I move to accept the warrants as written. Payroll week 9/17/23, $7,509.90. Payroll week 9/24/23, $6,742.98. Expense warrant number 2406, $37,512.91 for a total of $51,765.79.
All right, I will second that. Is there anything you want to tell us or any discussion we need to have?
This was mostly repairs, utilities, insurances, nothing real special about these warrants
Okay.
that stands out.
All right. So, all right. Any other discussion about the warrants? Okay. So we'll take a roll call. Tara?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
Zon says aye. Thank you very much. All right, those are passed. Then we'll move on to other business. And just remind the community that other business, what can be brought here at this moment are items that just very quickly can be discussed that can't wait until another meeting. And so I just want to alert the public that the next meeting in October is not on October the 9th, but is on Wednesday, October the 11th. Any federal holiday, any meeting that happens on a federal holiday automatically transfers to the Wednesday of that week. And so that's Indigenous Peoples Day, October the 9th. So we'll be meeting on Wednesday, October the 11th.
Ow. Sorry.
And then, all right, so then we'll move on. Then we'll move on to correspondence. And so we have Erica has a moment here.
I will do this one. So I spoke on the phone with Scott Hatfield, a resident of B Barn Road, and he called and then he emailed to alert the select board that he is concerned about all the new traffic that's coming into the B Barn Road as a result of the new community park being there. He feels that people are driving too quickly into the park and going to church or going to an event at the park, and they're driving too fast and being reckless. He says he has spoken to the church about this, but nothing has come of it yet. So he wanted to alert the select board, and that is really it. His fiance has almost been hit head on as she was driving, or as they were driving. I don't know. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, duly noted. We'll make sure that it's, yes, thank you. We'll respond. You have already, and we'll make sure that we're added to the issues that we're going forward here.
Zon, can I just ask a quick question? Does anybody know if there's a sign on that road that says slow?
No.
There is no sign. So we're also, part of the research would be for us to talk with Dan and find out what can be done. That's part of what we do. So, yeah.
And that road's only 100 feet long.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Very short road. Yeah. Okay, then folks, we're going to move now into an executive session, and this is, we're going to move into executive session to discuss an employee relations situation per Vermont statute section 313A3. I will move that we move into executive session in order to discuss this employee situation. And inviting Erica Elder and Dan Zambrowski to the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. All right, all those in favor of moving, let me just explain quickly before we vote that we'll ask folks in the room to step out either into the parking lot or into the other room. And you can shut this door, which is viable. And folks online will be put into the waiting room. And after we come out of the executive session, we will then look to see if there's anybody who wants to return to the remainder of the meeting. So, Tara.
Aye.
All right, Michael?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. Okay, so now we are into executive session. Thank you all very much. All right, so it's 8. I will make a motion that the select board will come out of executive session at 8:26. With no business, there will be no business, no action to take. So is there a second to that?
I second.
Thank you, Tara. All right, I go around the room and see if we're all in favor of coming out of executive session. Tara?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Miranda?
Aye.
Zahn says aye. Okay, we are technically out of executive session. Thanks very much. Now, the next part of the meeting is actions from the previous meeting. You'll need to bear with me as I simply read the list of actions that we took at the last meeting. We approved minutes. We tabled a conflict of interest amendment discussion. We approved additional select board member added to correspondence with town attorney. We appointed Tara to be the added to the correspondence with town attorney with Rusty as the alternate. We approved the potash discontinuation request. We approved the October 16th public meeting on capital improvement plan, asset management plan. We authorized the terms of lease for radio equipment on Sweet Pond Road, and we approved the warrants. All right, so then actions taken this evening. We approved the minutes of September 11th. We tabled the conflict of interest discussion. We accepted the Potash Rd discontinuance report prepared by Erica. We approved the selection of a winter sand bid. We tabled discussion on the Finance Advisory Committee. We approved a liquor license for a single event. We approved a town office door project between Ellie's office and the main room. And we approved the warrants of the last meeting. No, we approved the warrants of this meeting that are listed as they're read, as Tara suggested, and then we came out of executive session. All right, are there any further actions to take this evening? Seeing none, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I'm happy to do that.
Thank you, Michael. Is there a second to that?
Oh, I'll second.
All right, thank you. All right, so Tara?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Veranda?
Aye.
And Zahn says aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very kindly. We'll see you on Wednesday, October the 11th.